The amazing thing is that so many people try to argue whether microcontrast exists or not. I got three sources here: ZEISS, Nikon, and Canon. Now this is the Nikon D3 brochure talking about improved tonal gradation. These are intertonal details or low SNR gain light signals that add to the realism of a shot. And what they're talking about is tonality in things like harsh sunlight and snow, giving you better SNR on low gain signals. Here we have ZEISS talking about microcontrast. That was actually Fuji Love talking about microcontrast. Here we go. We have an article from ZEISS on microcontrast. Oh, how interesting. Everybody's talking about microcontrast. Here we go, is the CANON workbook. Here's one of the famous examples. This is a workbook on lens concepts from Canon, the EF lens concepts. They're talking about a picture of a kitty cat. Resolving power and contrast are both good. Secondly, contrast is good and resolving power is bad. This is an example of some of the older lenses that are not that sharp, but they have really good gain, especially on low signal strength gain, where the image might not be very sharp, but the image looks really good because it has great micro contrast. This is representative of lenses today. They have incredible resolving power, but they have poor contrast. The images look flat. You notice the kitty cat looks flat? That's right. You see, resolution only tells you what's resolved. It doesn't tell you the quality of what's resolved. This is why a hamburger made from a poor cut of meat is not the same as another hamburger that's made from a filet mignon. I mean, one has completely different quality. Why, they're both exactly the same weight, same density, same shape. You're like, yeah, one's a crappy cut of meat, the other one's made from filet mignon. This is what people don't get. Resolution doesn't tell you the quality of what's resolved. You see how this one looks? This is poor resolution but great contrast. This one's great resolution but poor contrast. This is from Canon's own workbook. Canon made this book. ZEISS talks about microcontrast. Nikon talks about microcontrast. Canon talks about microcontrast. I don't care if you call it great tonality, microcontrast. I refer to it as lens fidelity. And the two parts contribute to image fidelity. One of them is sensor side, which has to do with the efficiency of the sensor per unit of time and given aperture. And the other one is lens fidelity, or lens microcontrast. The two of them together contribute to the tonality, or the true pop, I don't care what you call it, of the shot. So, if anybody tells you microcontrast doesn't exist, then tell them then they must know more than Canon, Nikon, and ZEISS, which they sure as hell do not. Thank you so much.